Test. Alright guys, welcome. Sorry I haven't posted any videos here lately, but I've been a little busy. So today what we're going to be doing is we're doing some solos. We have two lessons. We got lesson 12 and lesson 13. Both are an hour apiece, but we'll be doing probably both of those lessons today. So yeah, pretty excited. So we got another airplane that's getting ready to taxi out, so we're gonna let this thing warm up a little bit, let them do what they need to do, and I'm gonna start on my checklist here so we can get up in the air. And actually, I'm just going to go over it again with you guys. So I am flying a 172, Cessna 172. So we already got our engine started, we're warming up. So checking the oil pressure. So the oil pressure is just in the green. Yep. And it's rising a little bit when I do that. It was just on the edge. So, oil pressure, it's in the green, check. Mixture, we're lean for taxi. Avionics is on. Nav light is on. Taxi landing lights if required for night. So, flaps up and let's get some weather.
Hamilton, Ravalli County Airport.
Automated weather observation 1817 Zulu. Wind 210 at 5 knots. Visibility more than 10. Sky condition clear below 12,000. Temperature 1/6 Celsius. Dew point -1 Celsius. Altimeter 2985 inches of mercury. Remarks density altitude 4800.
Alright, we'll listen to the wind one more time.
Hamilton, Ravalli County Airport.
Automated weather observation 1817 Zulu. Wind 210 at 5 knots. Visibility more than 10.
Alright, so wind's 210 at 5 knots. So we got our altimeter set, 2985. Determine runway, we're probably going to be taking off runway 17. Let's make sure our flight controls are free and clear, or free and correct. I'm sorry. Okay. Fuel quantity, so we had 16 aside. Which that gives us 32 gallons. Okay, so we're going to taxi to runway 17, and we'll do our run up there. Hamilton traffic, Cessna 293 Charlie Alpha is taxiing from parking to runway 17 for a southern departure, Hamilton. So a couple things we're going to have in the aircraft at all times as a student pilot. So I have to have my logbook which has my big old fancy endorsement saying, hey, this guy can fly an airplane by himself. On top of that, I have to have my student pilot certificate, which I just got from the FAA here recently. And last but not least, driver's or a government issue photo ID and my medical class, which I currently hold a Class 3 medical. So if you guys are interested into getting into flight, first off, see if you can pass a flight physical, because that's going to be the ticket to actually getting on your own. Obviously you need the other things, but if you can't get a medical, then you can't fly. So this airport is here in beautiful Hamilton, Montana, here in Valley County. Not very far from here is the Darby Chief Joseph Ranch, which many of you know is where they filmed Yellowstone. And even more of an exciting tidbit, they did film one of the episodes, let me take that back. They filmed one of the scenes of one of the episodes here at our airport last year. And if I can, I'll try to sneak that into the video there. Alright, so we're coming up on runway 17. And we're going to hold short and we're going to do our run-up. Hamilton traffic, Cessna 293 Charlie, I was holding short runway 17, Hamilton. Okay, so we're going to run this up to, well, let's just go with the checklist here. Horrible about doing that. I need to continue to do that to make myself a better pilot. Don't ever take shortcuts, guys. That's how you get hurt. So, fuel selector is on both. Throttle, 1700 RPM. Alright, so once you get to 1700 RPM, you're going to bring back the mixture to where it just slowly starts to cut out. And by cut out, I mean dip below 1700 RPM. There, can you hear the change? So bring it up just a little bit, bring it back to peak. So we're right at 1700. Now we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 big twists to the right for the mixture. Okay, so we're holding steady at 1500 or 1700 RPM. So we're going to check carb heat. Make sure there's no carburetor ice. Okay, we don't have any carb ice. We're going to check our left magneto. Shouldn't have a drop more than 150. So we got about 100 RPM drop there. And then let's do the left. Or, I'm sorry, the right. Okay. So engine instruments, so checking our suction. Suction's in the green, oil pressure's in the green. Altimeter, or I'm sorry, the alternator. God, I can't talk today. The alternator dropped whenever we kicked it off, so the alternator's working, and we're holding at 1700. So now we're going to slowly bring it back to idle. Make sure we still have an engine. Okay, we still have an engine. Bring it back to 1000. Okay, go to throttle friction on. Alright, so here's our little briefing that we do. So we're in a Cessna 172, so rotate speed, or RVR, is going to be 55 knots. We're going to take off runway 17. Once we take off, we're going to hit 74 knots, which is the best rate of climb. We're going to climb out to approximately 6,500 feet. If we have an incident on the runway, we're going to cut the power and we're going to hit the brakes and head back to the airport. If we have an incident on takeoff, then we're going to aim for something directly in front of us, a nice big field that we can land in. If we have an incident at altitude, we're going to come back and we're going to land runway 17. So that's how we do that. Hamilton traffic, Cessna 293 Charlie Alpha is departing runway 17 for a southern departure, Hamilton. Alright, so we're taking off. We're going to turn all our lights on here. We're checking left, checking right, make sure no one's on the runway, make sure everything's locked. This is definitely your last second check because your life depends on it. Everything's looking good. And let's take off. Airspeed's alive. 55. Rotate. Okay, good takeoff. It was a little bumpy today, but that's all right. And as many as you guys can see, I'm actually keeping my hand on the throttle. So that's in case we have an emergency, engine cuts out or whatnot. Also, if I let my hand off of it and the throttle decides it wants to, slip back, that's a problem. So keep your hand on the throttle till you get close to your altitude, then you can kind of relax. So I think today we'll head down to the Yellowstone Ranch. We'll see if Rip's home. Stay tuned. So right now we're headed towards Yellowstone. I don't know how well you can see it on the video, but right off to about 11 o'clock, that's where Yellowstone is. Hamilton traffic, Cessna 293 Charlie Alpha is 6 to the south at 6,500. Hamilton. Actually, it's getting really frickin' bumpy up here. Got a nice little tailwind, I believe. Or no, I don't. I got a headwind. Don't listen to me. So the way we achieve straight and level flight. So I could manhandle this plane all day and I could still probably not get this thing straight and level. Or I can trim for my altitude, my airspeed with my throttle for altitude and trim for airspeed. That'll be a little difficult today because it's so bumpy, but and actually I think we're going to turn around because I'm getting really turbulent weather right now. Or at least I'm going to lower my altitude. Hamilton traffic, Cessna 293 Charlie Alpha is 10 to the south, coming up on Darby at 6,000. Hamilton. One thing in these situations that you really need to do is fly the plane. Don't freak out. Fly the plane. Alright, so we did our little turn around Darby. Went right over the Yellowstone Ranch. And I kind of left the camera off for a little bit. There weren't any distractions. It was getting a little bumpy. So, heading back towards Hamilton right now. Now we might, depending on time, because we got an hour for this session and then we got another hour we can fly, but I'm not going to get beat around in an aircraft for 2 hours, because it's beat me around pretty good. Hamilton traffic, Cessna 293 Charlie Alpha, 5,500, 8.5 to the south. Hamilton. So it's a little smoother now because we got a nice little tailwind pushing us, and we don't have any bumpy headwind. And it sounds like I spoke too soon. I think we got time to go hit the pattern, do a couple touch and goes. So yeah, let's go do some touch and goes. Well, we'll do a full stop. That way we can...
Stevensville traffic, Cessna 903 Juliet Sierra, 5 miles to the east at 7,300, maneuvering Stevensville.
Hamilton traffic, Cessna 293 Charlie Alpha is 5 to the south for the pattern here in Hamilton. At 5,000. So pattern altitude here is 4,600 feet. We're currently at 5,000. We're dropping because we're coming pretty close into the pattern here. Hamilton traffic, Cessna 293 Charlie Alpha will be entering the left downwind for 17 Hamilton. Alright, so we made our call out, entering the left downwind here, right at 4,600 feet.
Stevensville traffic, Cessna 903 Juliet Sierra, 7 miles to the northeast, 7,000. We're heading back to Missoula, Stevensville.
So we want to maintain this altitude. We're going to trim for airspeed, and we're going to hold this at 4,600. So we're going to start doing our checks. So fuel selector to both. Mixture set. Carb heat on. Alright, so you gotta watch. I am losing altitude already. I'm going way too fast. Alright, so we're in the arc. Give it 10 degrees. Our nose is going down towards the ground. Carb heat. All the lights are on. Unlocked. Nose to the ground. Hamilton traffic, Cessna 293 Charlie Alpha is left base for 17 Hamilton. Sure that Engine RPM is at 1700. Degrees. Hamilton traffic, Cessna 293 Charlie Alpha is final for 17 Hamilton. A little bit of a crosswind here.
500.
Alright, so I don't know if you can see it on the camera, we got two lights, so we are high. Dump full flaps. And remember, we can always go around. Alright, so red and white. We're on glide slope. Getting slow, give her some juice, we're at 65. Only thing we're worried about now is airspeed. Make sure we're lined up runway heading. Set nose down. Keep the nose down. Hold it off. That was not the worst, but definitely not the best. Alright, so turn into the wind. Now we're clear of the runway. Hamilton traffic, Cessna 293 Charlie Alpha is clear runway 17, taxiing back to 17 Hamilton. Alright, clean up, flaps up, carpet in. And before we do anything else, we're going to get another weather check real quick.
Hamilton, Ravalli County Airport.
Automated weather observation 1853 Zulu. Wind 160 at 15 knots. Visibility more than 10. Sky condition clear below 2000. Temperature 18 Celsius. Dew point -3 Celsius. Altimeter 2981 inches of mercury. Remarks density altitude 5000.
Hamilton traffic, Cessna 293 Charlie Alpha is holding short runway 17 Hamilton. So that was the ATIS. We're going to check AWAS. So right now it's 150 at 15. And I think we're going to be smart and we're not going to fly it. Hamilton traffic, Cessna 293 Charlie Alpha is going to be canceling departure, going to be taxiing back to Choice. Hamilton. When in doubt, you don't go. That's how that works. It's just a little too windy right now. We got, it's showing it at 15, but it's probably going to start gusting here in a little bit.
That's good.
So I want you guys to check this out. Just because you cancel something, if you're not going to fly, doesn't make you any less of a pilot. In my opinion, that makes you a better pilot because you know your limitations and you know what your limits are, what your personal minimums are. I believe whenever I was talking through my stage 1 checks, they asked me what my personal minimums were, and I believe I said my personal minimums were about 15 knots. Well, that's about where we're at right now. So, don't get yourself into a situation where you're going to get hurt, or worse, killed, or get somebody else killed. There will always be another better day to fly. So, taxiing down, make sure you're turning into the wind. Way back home. So yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in. I'm sure we'll add more to this maybe later today if the wind dies down. But appreciate you guys. Make sure you like, subscribe to my channel. Like the video, subscribe to my channel. And yeah, we'll see you next time.